VLAN ID to the priority. You learned about it. Because of that, the priority, okay, should be added with the system ID extension, means the VLAN ID, and then we have the for example MAC address in the system ID part. Let me to give you one example. You know that if for example in one switch we have more than one STP instance, STP instance 1, STP instance 2, because we have, for example, 2 VLAN, we need 2 STP instance. I explained this before, okay? We need to create 2 unique BID, okay? The BIDs, the default definition is the priority, means a number between 0 to 65,535, and with default value of the 32,768, okay? Colon MAC 1, and here means MAC, assume that this is the switch 1, okay, means MAC of this switch 1, and for the STP2 is again the same priority, and then the MAC 1, okay. Here for creating 2 different BID for each STP instance without using another MAC address, we can add, okay, the VLAN ID to the priority, +1 here, +2. Okay, because of that, actually the BID of the STP in STP1 is 32,769 plus MAC 1, okay, or colon MAC 1, and after that here the BID of the switch 1 in STP2 is 32,770 colon MAC 1. This is the extended BID as you learned before. Now, you know that also when we want to configuring the priority, we are using this command, spanning tree VLAN, for example, VLAN ID, VLAN 1, then priority 24,576, for example, this is a value. And here, you know that we need, and we can only to use the numbers in increment of 4,096, for example, 0, 4,096, then this value, this value, this value. And now the question is that why we need only using the value in increment of 4,096. This is only for information. Maybe it's not so important about the CCNA, but it's a good question that we can answer it. Look at here. As you know, here in priority, and now in the extended bridge ID, in the priority plus VLAN ID, we have 16 bits, or we can say the 2 byte. Okay, look at here, 1 2 3 4, then 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 16 bits. Okay, these 16 bits include the 12 bits for the VLAN ID. You can look at here. Here we have 16 bits, and the 12 bits here is for reserved for the VLAN ID from the VLAN 1 to, for example, 4096. Okay, this is the VLAN ID. And after that, here now we have again another 4 bits that we can configure them for the priority. Here you can use a value between quads between 0 0 0 0 to the maximum value is 1 1 1 1. Okay, but you know that each of these bits, okay, equal for example this bit, let me to write here, this bit equal to the 2 to power of 12. Okay, 2 to the power of 12, and this is equal to 4,096. Okay, this bit, let me to show you. Okay, the value of this bit is 2 to power of 12, 4,096. And after that, the value of the next field, for example, next bit, this bit, okay, is the 2 multiply, okay, to this number. We can say this is the, for example, let me to write here, 2, then multiply 2 to power of 12, okay, equal to 2 to multiply 4,096. Okay, after that the next is 4 multiply 4,096, and after that finally we have 8 multiply 4,096. Okay, actually we can say with these 4 bits we can create a multiplier of the 4,096. Look at here, if you use quad 0 instead of these bits, okay, we have the value of 0. in priority. When you are using 0001 in this 4 bits, the value is 4096. When you are using 0010, the value equal to 8192. And when you are using 0011, the value equal 12288. When you are using 100, the value equal to this value. And finally, you can reach with quad 1 to 61,440. Okay, because of that, actually we are using the for example numbers in increment of 4096, because these 4 bits are the multiplier of the 4096. Here you can see all of the values that we have. Okay, this is the first note that I wanted to talk about. That now you know why we need to use the multiplier of the 4096. For example, 24,576 is the multiplier of the 4096 with assume that when you are we multiplying 6 to the 4096, the result is this value. Okay, also let me to say, when you are configuring a priority for a for example switch or an instance in switch, actually you are configuring this part, these 4 bits. Okay, and after that it should be added to the VLAN ID, and finally the result is the for example these 2 fields. Look at here, for example, I configured a spanning tree VLAN 1 priority 24,576. Actually now the BID is 24,576 plus 1 column MAC, means 24,577. Or if you are configuring the spanning tree, look at here, a spanning tree, then VLAN 2, then for example priority 28,672. Actually now the BID equal to the 28,672 plus 2. Okay, then MAC for example 1, and this means the result is 28,674. Okay, the reason for this for example separation, okay, for this dividing, is that we can't change the size of the BID. Because of that, when we are using the PVST and we need to add the VLAN ID to the for example this part, because the system ID or MAC address size is fixed, we need to for example allocate 12 bits for the VLAN, because we have 4096 VLANs, and after that we have only 4 bits, and with these 4 bits we can create only some special values, not all values in PVST. But don't forget, you know that in Cisco we can't support the STP, means one STP for all VLANs. Look at here, you know that traditionally before the per VLAN STP we use STP. Okay, STP, or in some cases maybe you see this term CST, means common STP. Why common STP? Because assume that in one network we have 4 VLAN. Okay, all of these 4 VLANs are using only same topology, common topology or common STP. But you know that in Cisco the CST does not support it. Because of that we are using PVST or PVST plus. Okay, and here in per VLAN STP plus we need to use different BID for each STP instance in one switch. How we can create different BID with one MAC address? We don't want to waste many MAC address with adding the VLAN ID to the priority. And because of that, because we don't want to change the BID structure, the system ID again has 6 bytes. Now we need to use this 2 byte, the prior 2 byte, for the priority and system ID extension, means the VLAN ID, for example. Because of that, 12 bits should be reserved for the VLAN ID, and with 4 bit only you have the option to use the numbers in increment of 4096. And after that, let me to say that if you use CST you don't have this limitation, because in CST we can use any number between 0 to 65,535, but you know that this is not possible in Cisco switch. You can use it in another for example brands. All right, now I'm going to talk about another feature about the STP or another command. Okay, You know that when we want, we can change the place of the root bridge. How? With this command, you can tune the priority of a STP instance with the spanning tree